Chapter 2 Harry, How to Speak to Hermione. When the students arrived for lunch one day, it had already been a week since the headmaster had spoken to Harry, and he was still reeling from that first night. It's raining, Harry thought, as he walked through the clearing where the last of the students, the ones who hadn't been killed yet, left to return to their dorms for the day. He felt the first of the raindrops on his face, and the thought came to him, I need to go see if any of them got wet. He was going to continue to the clearing when he saw a small figure walking down the path, a thin boy, with the thin skin of a boy of his age. "Oh, hi there." "Hey, Harry," said the boy, and Harry turned around to find Hermione standing next to him, trying to keep her cool as she watched the rain pour down upon the small boy. "So, did you hear about the accident I had?" she asked, looking at the boy. "No, I was just thinking about the weather again," Harry admitted, trying to be as upbeat as possible. "I got my first kiss, and a few other injuries." What did you do to hurt yourself? Did you get punched or anything like that?" Hermione asked, trying not to be too shocked or defensive. It probably felt like a breeze just coming out of nowhere. I'm not very good at kissing, so I didn't have as many opportunities with men as I thought I would have." I didn't realize Harry was a raging homosexual. Harry said, his face contorting slightly. "That must be frustrating for you," Hermione said, still trying to keep an even tone of voice. "I thought you were better with girls. You were really pretty with Draco." Harry blushed, trying to think of any reason why she might think that. "He's so handsome, but I feel like I'm going to regret that one." "I'll take that as a compliment," Hermione agreed, and she put her hand on the small boy's shoulder, which caused him to turn and look at her, before turning back to watch her. Hermione was surprised to see Harry smile, although she didn't recognize it as anything she was used to. She turned her back to the boy, and his face lit up with excitement when he looked up to see his girlfriend standing there, looking down at him. "Oh, Harry, this is my new boyfriend. I hope you know him," she began sweetly. She put her hand on Harry's shoulder, and his heart stopped for a moment, as Hermione's gaze focused onto his eyes. They were so bright that he felt like he was looking into an abyss of light, and he was happy that she was able to do that. Harry was speechless, his mouth full of what sounded like candy, his eyes wide as he stared at her. Hermione was surprised when she saw Harry blushing. She looked down at her boyfriend in confusion, then sighed and pulled his hands from between her legs. "Well, I guess you'll have to get used to him, but I really like him. He's really sweet and funny, and interesting," she explained softly, her voice almost inaudible to Harry. Her small boyfriend started laughing at the idea, causing her to laugh as well. "Oh, come on, Hermione. We have just begun to make our friendship something that we both love and we both need to spend more time with. Not only that, but you're my first girlfriend, and I need you to be the best girl that I've ever met. You'll do everything in your power to make sure I don't regret having you for over a year," he warned seriously. Harry laughed nervously. Yeah, that's kind of how I am with girls. It's just kind of weird at the beginning," he said quickly. Hermione smiled at him. When he looked up, she was gone, but Hermione's smile was still there. It was one of those smiles where Harry's heart felt so heavy it was practically burning. Hermione's small boyfriend was now naked, and he was grinning. "What the hell was that all about?" he teased. God damn it. Harry decided he had better leave, because it was time to go back to class, to run on Professor Snape about his homework. He waved to the naked boy before him, and then disappeared into the hall. Oh, good lord. Chapter 3. He's got some talent. He took another deep breath and looked around the potions classroom. The smell of potions made Harry smile, as did the sound of magic. It was something that was on the list of things that he needed to improve on in order to be useful to himself. And it was in the potions class that Harry found the first lesson of the year. Ron had been talking about how his mother was a wonderful cook, and he thought that it might be useful to him to learn a few recipes. Ron had even asked for Harry to join him in the kitchen. It would be fun to try to help him make some wonderful homemade potluck. Harry didn't think that he would be able to help Ron, but there was nothing to be afraid of, except for a certain boy from the Great Hall. "Ron, are you ready?" Sure," Ron said, looking ready for a lesson in potions. Let's try something simple then, Harry told Ron, and make a simple but tasty pudding. Sure, Ron grinned. Let's bake a cake, he added before they took out the ingredients. Ron put down the bowl of powdered sugar and the bowl of butter, then poured in 2 cups of the mixture, and then he was ready to go. 2 cups of what mixture? Just then, Professor Snape was there, watching from a distance. Ah, Harry Potter. Mr. Potter, come here, please, he said as he came out from behind a bench. Can you tell me what's going on? Professor Snape, Harry asked. The man in black, Mr. Weasley, is standing in front of you, Snape said as he appeared behind them. The man is here to take over your house. Harry watched him with the biggest hint of concern. Well, sir, if that man wants to, he can leave, and he does not. You can choose to stay or go. Very well then, Harry Potter, Snape said, turning around and walking up to Harry. I wish to speak to you. If I find you wanting to leave the school, I will not let you go. Harry turned, but as soon as he spoke, Snape was back behind him, his arms around him outstretched. Sir Snape? Harry asked, trying to put the words together. I have nothing to tell you, Snape said, stepping back and taking out a small brown box. What the fuck does that box contain? Harry asked, bewildered. This, Snape said, handing Harry the box, the last piece of the puzzle. This is the thing that will bring peace to all of you, Harry. But why would you want to bring peace to all of us? Harry asked, aghast. Why would you want to turn us all into some dark, evil entity? He put the box into his pockets, holding on to it for dear life. Snape pulled out another box. This one contained a small glass of wine. Harry took the wine and placed it in his mouth. Now, Snape said, and Harry saw the look on Snape's face and saw how angry his face was. I will need you to fill this box, Harry. Now. Harry took the small white box and filled it with water, filling it until the bottle of water was empty. Harry held the bottle up and fell it out of his hands onto the floor. You're not a person, Harry, Snape said as Harry walked away and sat down, looking at the empty bottle of water lying on the floor. You aren't even a human being. No, Harry said, and then he turned to Snape and whispered, Why should I be? Why should anyone be? You're going to die, Snape said softly. You're going to die here, Harry. Oh, thank Merlin, Harry said, and then he put his head down and lay there. Ron Weasley smiled slightly. Well, if you're gonna die, you better get off your ass. Ron, Harry said quietly, we need to make sure no one else dies, okay? Not just me. I've already been here and done this before, Snape said as Harry sat up, eyes still closed. I'm gonna make this pretty good. You don't have to do anything, Harry. Just sit there and pretend to be okay. Harry nodded as he felt as he was going to have a nervous breakdown. That was his first lesson, that he should just keep quiet and pretend to be okay. He had to do this.